I'm Nick Lewis, and this is Raw Rebellion. Today is day 89 of my solid food vacation, and I'm going to go over my blood test results from day 76. And then I'm going to compare it to my blood tests from a year ago. So for those of you who haven't checked out my channel already or seen my other videos, I have what's called selective IGA, which is an immune deficiency of the immunoglobulin antibody, which is responsible for lining the colon and sinuses with protective mucus to keep the body safe from pathogens and other harmful particulates. So, what goes along with selective IgA deficiency is anemia, and fortunately I don't really have serious anemia. It's very, very mild, but I'm going to show you on the charts where I'm at. And this is some of the most exciting news I've ever had because, okay, I'm going to just backtrack a little bit here. My IGA level before I went vegan was 15, and the normal range is, it says, between 81 and 463, so you can see that was shit. And, you know, one of the things that actually led me to raw food and veganism and then raw food is it was the only foods that didn't hurt my stomach. I'd always had terrible stomach problems. So it's one of the few things that didn't cause me pain. So then about 2 years vegan, and maybe it was 5-6 months into being high raw, sort of a raw till 4 kind of thing. I got a blood test, and my IGA had gone up to 20, and it's not much, but you know, it goes up 5 points, 20 from 15. That was enough for me to say, okay, maybe there's something to this, you know. And so now I did fully raw for a few months this past year, and then mostly high raw, but you know, I started getting sick, so I was like, you know what, that's it. I've had enough. I'm doing the solid food vacation, John Rose protocol. You know, people say it works. People say fasting works, so I'm gonna give it a shot and see what happens. So now it's gone from 20 up to, I don't know if you guys can see that, 38. See that? It went to it nearly doubled. My IGA that I've had since I was 13, 14, maybe even younger. I know that's when they really detected it, because they were trying to do all kinds of blood tests figuring out why I got sick all the time. It's doubled. I mean, I can't believe it. And I haven't been sick. That's the thing, is that I've come into contact with people who have colds and flu-like symptoms, you know, more than half a dozen times since I started the solid food vacation. And normally, like clockwork, I would always come down with symptoms, at least, you know, a week later, you know, at least 2 weeks later, not a few days later, and be sick for a while. And this is the first time I've come into contact with these people, and I haven't gotten sick. So I'm in the sauna, this one. So this is like incredible. Like I'm reversing IgA deficiency, and you know, I did a little more reading about it today, and I found out, like it said, like there's a lot of case studies now about you know, people that fast can raise their IgA that way. Getting better sleep, which I have been doing. You know, John Rose is like, get into bed before 10 o'clock, and you know, hours between 10 and 3 are most important for REM. So I've been doing that, and then also some studies showing chlorella, which is something I've been implementing on my juice feast. Chlorella can help raise IgAs along with humor, moderate exercise, and actually releasing anger is another one that it was saying. Well, it also said relaxation too. So, but I guess the idea is, relax, and then if you're angry, don't keep it bottled up. It's good to vent. So I've been doing therapy twice a week now, and that's been super helpful. So yeah, I was sort of taking all these steps already. I didn't know it, but check it out. My IGA is nearly doubled where it was at, and who knows how much further up it will go. Now, I've always been mildly anemic, and then you can see here are my my numbers from, I don't know if you can see that, from a little over, like a little over a year ago, and I don't, is this, yeah. You can see that they're all marked L, which is a little low. It's a little bit low, but barely, not even like a full point off on most of them. So it's, my doctor was like, honestly, that we wouldn't really even pay attention to that because it's not even that far off the chart. And also, let's not forget that most of these labs are based on, the average American population. So, but then again, like I said, some mild anemia or even some serious anemia can go along with selective IgA. But if you look at my blood work now, I don't know if you, hopefully you can see that, my hemoglobin has gone up. My hemoglobin is now normal, whereas in the last one, it was not. There's still some deficiency for some of the stuff with the red blood cells, but in general, my general hemoglobin count is up and in the normal range. Now my white blood cell count is slightly below, and that's actually normal for vegans. This is what they're finding out now, is that, and particularly raw vegans, because white blood cells are an inflammation marker. So if your white blood cell count is slightly lower than average and you're a vegan, high raw vegan, or raw vegan, that is normal. And part of that is obviously, we know the meat, dairy, and eggs cause, inflammation. So does the processed food. But what's, interestingly enough, cooked food in general, and even cooked plants, cause leukocytosis, which is a raised white blood cell count. So it is completely normal that my white blood cells will be lower than the average. Now, my cholesterol from, let's see, where are we at here? From last year, for some reason, I think I do need to eat more overt fats, and I think now that I've done the juice fast, my liver and has probably healed a bit more. My kidneys have healed a bit more. That I can handle the fats a little bit better. So I'm gonna start eating some more coconut and more nuts and seeds and stuff to get the saturated fat that helps elevate my cholesterol. Because last year my total cholesterol was 94, and unfortunately my HDL was lower than my LDL, and it's still that case here because let's see, where are we at? Oh yeah, so my total now, mind you, I'm on a juice fast, is 91. My total cholesterol is 91, and my my HDL is still lower than my LDL, and they want that to be the other way around. But the LDL in both cases, last year and this year, are, let's see, are in the 40s, which is, as long as you're below 70 for LDL, you're heart attack proof. So I mean, I'm really not that worried about it, but I am going to start eating a little bit more overt fats when I start eating solids, and I might break tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. I just got to see how I feel. Like I said, taking it one day at a time. And yeah, so my LDL last year was 40.6. So my LDL went up a little, but it's like barely anything. It's like a few points. So, another interesting thing is that on my most recent one here, my BUN, which is the urea in my bloodstream, is just 2 points lower than average. Hopefully you can read that. My BUN is 2 points lower than average, and that doesn't bother me either, because that means my kidneys are probably filtering. Because if you have high BUN numbers, that means your kidneys aren't filtering that urea well enough. So the fact that I have such low urea is a sign that I'm. And the thing is, like I said, this is stuff. This is all based on the average population, the average sick Western population. So my kidneys might just be functioning amazingly now. So I'm just so excited about that. And even my it says here my my urine pH is is 1 point higher than the average. So and that just means that I'm just super alkaline right now. And we'll see this stuff probably level out as I bring back the solid food. So these are great. This is great considering where I was at. I've nearly doubled my IGA count, and I've had selective IGA, low IGA numbers since I was pretty young, at least in my teens. I had been put on a lot of medications as a child, and psychotropic drugs, and I had been eating terrible, awful food, getting all kinds of vaccinations. So there is a lot of damage to contend with in my body, and a lot to eliminate, detox. I've had a very a stressful life emotionally, and I've been through a few surgeries, and so the fact that these numbers are getting better and better now, and especially that was a huge jump. That's just a huge jump in the IGA. So I'm going to do another blood test after my 90 to 100 days is up, and I'm eating some solid raw food, and then we'll see where I'm at there. And it's just like, you know what? The body wants to heal. The body is it's when we get in the way and we keep putting in the toxins, we don't give it what it needs. Now, I just want to point out, it says my B12 is 869, or the range is between 239 and 931. So you can see no problems with B12. I do take methylcobalamin spray every day. I do that. I forgot to get my D levels tested, but I take 2,000 IUs of a vegan D3 supplement every single day. Now what I'll probably do when I'm eating solid food again is I'm going to be eating a lot more sea vegetables, so seaweeds, and a lot more algae. So I'm not going to worry so much about the B12 if I'm eating chlorella and nori and kelp and you know, maybe some Irish sea moss. I haven't tried that yet, but I want to experiment. And and then for the D, Raw Advantage, I was checking out his channel. He's got the video about charging mushrooms, and you can charge. They produce D2, but if you get it in really high quantities, you get it converts just fine into D3 based on the studies and testimony. So you can just get a sun lamp or put them in the window gill side up for a few hours, and they will produce tons of D2. But you know what? Never hurts to take the methylcobalamin spray. Never hurts to take the D3 vegan supplement. We are very lucky to have it. If I was living in the tropics, I would never take a D supplement because I would have my shirt off all the time. And if I was eating dirty organic food out of my garden every single day, I probably wouldn't be taking a B12 supplement. So we just have to remember that the raw vegan diet is the ideal diet in an ideal world, and we don't live in an ideal world anymore, so we have to slightly modify it. And that goes for even people who eat the standard American diet. Most of them are B12 deficient and even D3 deficient. So, and then obviously iodine, I'll be getting that from the sea vegetables, and I already put kelp granules in my morning juice, and I do flax oil in my morning juice, so I get my iodine and I get my omega-3s. But that's what I wanted to report today. This is a pretty exciting day for me. It means that my hard work here has paid off, that going through this whole, juice fast for 90 to 100 days, whenever I decide to end it now, it was all worth it to see those numbers nearly doubling my IGA. And I just know it's going to keep going up because I'm going to keep on working towards the healthiest body I can have by going to bed on time, making sure I have laughter in my life, making sure I get exercise, making sure that I'm do periodic fasting, and that I'm eating the species-specific diet. There is so much evidence now, and if you watch Goji Man, he even talks about this, that when you eat the wrong foods that build a overgrowth of the bad bacteria in the gut biome, that really does a number on knocking out IgA, even in people that aren't, genetically disposed to that mutation. So it's probably all the mucoid plaque, all the crap that been in me and blocking my production and methylation for so many years. I wanted to get a SpectraCell test, but according to the SpectraCell website, they won't take samples or send samples to Massachusetts. Send results to Massachusetts. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do that at some point if I'm at my New Hampshire house that my family has. And I wanted to do a methylation test. I don't know where to go to get that done. So if anybody has a lead on that, that would be really great to to forward me that info. So yeah, okay, I'm just super excited, so I just want to talk about this a lot. There's a lot of great stuff going on in 2019 is going to be our year, guys. It's going to be our year. I'm telling you, this is an ultimate year of abundance for us. We're all going to become super, super wealthy, rich, abundant, fulfilled, satisfied. This year is just telling me so much. I'm feeling so much good coming to us right now. And I've been doing the work. It's because we're all doing the work together, and we're manifesting the kind of place that we really want, the kind of world we really want. We just have to reach that tipping point, though. So we can't just relax once we feel that fulfillment. We still have to remember that there's work to do, and that there's still people that need our help. So don't don't ever feel, like you shouldn't be spreading this message. This is the hero's journey, and it's worthwhile anytime you can to try and bring it up in a conversation, or find people who are interested and have a open mind to this. So that's all for today, guys. Oh, and I got a potluck coming up on the 22nd. That's on Saturday, so in about a week, and that's at Common Street Spiritual Center in Natick, 13 Common Street, Natick, Massachusetts, 5 to 10 p.m. So if you're in town, the raw food, potluck, and open mic. So anyone who has any talents or testimonies or skills that they want to share with us, we would really love that. And I will have the juice bar set up, so there will be free fruit and vegetable juice in abundance. All right, thanks guys. Join the rebellion.